Best. Haven't heard that in a while. Not like, I like no, I know. Best. Hurry. It's very high. No, that's
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. We're going to begin this morning on page 293. Page 293.
Early will I seek you, God, my refuge strong. Late prepare to meet you, prepare to meet you, prepare to meet you, prepare to meet my King with my evening song. Go unto your greatness, I with trembling sore, yet I adore your seeking, light your eyes before. What is fair heart's dreaming, and what my tongue's for speech? Can they even your greatness reach? Being great in mercy, you will not despise praises which till death's hour from my soul will rise. Early will I seek you, God, my refuge strong. Late prepare to meet you, prepare to meet my King with my evening song.
Good Yontif, Shabbat Shalom. It's wonderful to see everyone here this morning on this holiest of days. And we are here, of course, with common purpose this morning. We join together on Yom Kippur so that each one of us, sitting together as a congregation, might search the depths of our souls, search deeply within us, so that we can take advantage of what we find there to rise even higher in the coming year. But we do have to look inside. So as we begin our service, let's take just a moment to think about some of the things that might have brought you here today, some of the things that might have occurred for each of us over the last year. Think for a moment about any of the struggles that you may have had during the coming year, frustrations, any hopes that were unaccomplished, dreams that may have been dashed, all the things that we look back upon the last year and think, I wish I could have done it a little bit differently, and I hope to do it just a little bit differently in the coming year. Each one of us has those thoughts, we have those moments, and our response as a Jewish community has always been the words that we will find on page 5 in our booklets. If you turn to page 5 at the bottom, the song that we will continue with, the hope that we have, is Tov Lehodot Ladonai. It is good to praise Adonai, to sing hymns to God's great name. So we'll continue at the bottom of page 5 as our youth choir sings for us Tov Lehodot.
Tov beautiful to hear the voices of some of our wonderful children in our children's choir welcoming us and easing us into services with these words. As Rabbi said, it is good to praise Adonai. We'll get ample opportunity to do that today. And we now affirm our readiness to pray with our Baruch Hu. We rise and turn to page 304. Turn to our Shema, page 306.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed.
Please be seated. We read together. You shall love your eternal God with all your mind, with all your strength, with all your being. Set these words, which I command you this day, upon your heart. Teach them faithfully to your children. Speak of them in your home and on your way, when you lie down and when you rise up. Bind them as a sign upon your hand. Let them be symbols before your eyes. Inscribe them on the doorposts of your house and on your gates. Be mindful of all my mitzvot and do them. So shall you consecrate yourselves to your God. I am your eternal God, who led you out of Egypt to be your God. I am your eternal God. Michamocha, page 308.
Michamocha ba'elim Adonai, Michamocha nedai ba'kodesh, Nora tehilot, Osef eleh, Michamocha ba'elim Adonai. Shir charisha, shir chogalim, l'shimcha sfat hayam, yachad kulam hodu. Im yichnu v'amru, Adonai imloch le'olam, le'olam va'ed. Tova b'ezrat Yisrael, uvtichinu mecha Yehuda v'Yisrael.
those gorgeous words resounding in our sanctuary, we rise for our tefillah, page 308. Adonai sfatai tiftach ufi yagid tehilatecha. Eternal God, open my lips that my mouth may declare your glory.
Baruch atah Adonai
Baruch Shema.
Eloheinu ve'Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu Elohei Avraham Elohei Yitzchak ve'Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Leah Elohei Rachel Agadol Agibor Ve'hanora Elyon Gomel Chasadim Tovim Ve'konei Hakol V'zocher Chasdi Avot V'imahot U'mevi Geula Livnei v'neihem Lema'an Shemo Be'ava Melech Ozer U'Moshiach U'Magin Baruch atah Adonai
Baruch Shema.
Magin Avraham Bezrat Sarah
Please be seated.
As we turn to page 312, we come again to one of our primary themes, one of our primary concepts of these high holy days, this section of readings and prayers called Unatana Tokef. And this is a section that we recognize, we hear these words, and they're emotional, they're powerful words. But this section asks us to somehow live in the contradiction between the idea that life sometimes feels out of our control, and yet we understand that we do have the power to overcome a lot in this life. As we feel the emotion of being caught between those two poles, we continue again on page 312, reading responsively. After Unatana Tokef. Let us proclaim the sacred power of this day. It is awesome and full of dread. For on this day your dominion is exalted, your throne established in steadfast love. There in truth you reign, in truth you are judge and arbiter, counsel and witness. You write and you seal, you record and recount. You remember deeds long forgotten, you open the book of our days. And what is written there proclaims itself, for it bears the signature of every human being. As the shepherd seeks out the flock and makes the sheep pass under the staff, so do you muster and number and consider every soul, setting the bounds of every creature's life and decreeing its destiny. Rosh Hashanah it is written, on Yom Kippur it is sealed. How many shall pass on? How many shall come to be? Who shall live and who shall die? Who shall see ripe age and who shall not? Who shall perish by fire and who by water? Who by sword and who by beast? Who by hunger and who by thirst? Who by earthquake and who by plague? Who by strangling and who by stoning? Who shall be secure and who shall be driven? Who shall be tranquil and who shall be troubled? Who shall be poor and who shall be rich? Who shall be humbled and who exalted?
Uteshuva, utefila, utsedaka, ma'avirin etro ha'gzera.
But repentance, prayer, and charity temper judgment's severe decree. We turn to the next page and please rise.
Nekadesh et shimecha ba'olam k'shim shematitimostu bishmei marom kal katuv al yad nevi'echa כתוב על יד נביאך וקרא זה אל זה ואמר קדוש 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 אדוני צבאות מלוא 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 הארץ כבודו אדיר אדירנו אדוני אדוננו מה אדיר שמך בכל הארץ מרחמיו לעיני כל חי Adonai
Please be seated. To all generations we will make known your greatness, and to all eternity proclaim your holiness. Your praise, O God, shall never depart from our lips. Together, eternal God, cause all your works to stand in awe before you, and all that you have made to tremble at your presence. Let all that lives revere you, and all creation turn to you in worship. Let them all become a single family, doing your will with a perfect heart. For well we know, eternal God, that yours is the majesty, yours the might, and awesome is your name in all creation. Grant honor to your people, glory to those who revere you, hope to those who seek you, and courage to those who trust you. Bless your land with gladness and your city with joy, and cause the light of redemption to dawn for all who dwell on earth. Then the just shall see and exult, the upright be glad, and the faithful sing for joy. Violence shall rage no more, and evil shall vanish like smoke. The rule of tyranny shall pass away from the earth, and you alone shall have dominion over all your works, as it is written, the Eternal One shall reign forever, your God, O Zion, from generation to generation. Hallelujah.
We continue on page 321 with our priestly blessing. Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu, barchenu b'bracha hamishuleshet haktuva b'Torah. Our God and God of all generations, bless us with the threefold benediction of the Torah. We continue with the moment of silent meditation.
page 322.
Sim Shalom Tova Uvracha Sim Shalom Tova Uvracha Sim Shalom Shalom Tova Uvracha Chen b'chesed v'rachamim Chen b'chesed v'rachamim Sim Shalom Tova Uvracha Sim Shalom Tova Uvracha Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael Amecha Sim Shalom Tova Uvracha Sim Shalom Tova Uvracha Sim Shalom Tova Uvracha Sim Shalom Tova Uvracha Tova Uvracha Tova Uvracha We turn together to page 324 and please rise. For transgressions against God, the Day of Atonement atones, but for transgressions of one human being against another, the Day of Atonement does not atone until they have made peace with one another.
I hereby forgive all who have hurt me, all who have wronged me, whether deliberately or inadvertently, whether by word or by deed. May no one be punished on my account. As I forgive and pardon those who have wronged me, may those whom I have harmed forgive and pardon me, whether I acted deliberately or inadvertently, whether by word or by deed.
Eloheinu, Elohi Avotenu v'Imotenu, Tavo lefanecha, tefillatenu. Ve'al titalam mitchinatinu. She'in anachnu Adonai Eloheinu, Elohi Avotinu Imotenu, Tzadikim anachnu, Velo chatanu avon, avon, anachnu
We remain standing and turn to page 330 as we join in a responsive Al Chet reading, recounting our communal sins from 5777. Al Chet shechatanu lefanecha birchilut.
The sin we have committed against you by malicious gossip.
Al Chet shechatanu lefanecha begilui arayot.
The sin we have committed against you by sexual immorality.
Ve'al Chet shechatanu lefanecha b'ma'achal uvemishteh.
And the sin we have committed against you by gluttony.
Al Chet shechatanu lefanecha b'tzarut ayin.
The sin we have committed against you by narrow-mindedness.
Al Chet shechatanu lefanecha b'chachash uvechazav.
The sin we have committed against you by fraud and falsehood.
Ve'al Chet shechatanu lefanecha b'sinat chinam.
And the sin we have committed against you by hating without cause.
Al Chet shechatanu lefanecha b'nitiat garon.
The sin we have committed against you by our arrogance.
Al Chet shechatanu lefanecha ba'azut metzach.
The sin we have committed against you by our insolence.
Ve'al Chet shechatanu lefanecha b'kalut rosh.
And the sin we have committed against you by our irreverence.
Al Chet shechatanu lefanecha b'vidui peh.
The sin we have committed against you by our hypocrisy.
Al Chet shechatanu lefanecha b'flilut.
The sin we have committed against you by passing judgment on others.
Ve'al Chet shechatanu lefanecha b'neshech uv'marbit.
And the sin we have committed against you by exploiting the weak.
Al Chet shechatanu lefanecha b'chapat shochad.
The sin we have committed against you by giving and taking bribes.
Al Chet shechatanu lefanecha b'yetzer hara.
The sin we have committed against you by giving way to our hostile impulses.
Ve'al Chet shechatanu lefanecha b'ritzat raglayim lehara.
And the sin we have committed against you by
Running to do evil.
Ve'al kulam Eloi selichot selach lanu mechal lanu
For all these sins, O God of mercy, forgive us, pardon us, grant us atonement.
Vayomer Adonai salachti kidvarecha. And God said, I have pardoned in response to your plea. Please be seated. We continue reading together in the middle of page 336. Hear our voice, eternal God. Have compassion upon us, and with that compassion, accept our prayer. Help us to return to you, God. Then truly shall we return. Renew our days as in the past.
Because וקבל ברחמים וברצון את תפילתנו. השיבינו אדוני אליך, השיבינו אליך ונשובה, חדש ימינו, ימינו כקדם. אל תשליכינו אל תשליכינו לעת זקנה, כי כלות כוחנו. אל תעזבנו. שמע קולנו, אדוני אלוהינו, חוס ורחם עלינו, עלינו, וקבל ברחמים וברצון את תפילתנו.
As we turn in our prayer books now to page 338, we come to Seder Kriyat Torah, the service for the reading of Torah. As we do, I'd ask everyone to please rise.
Adonai, Adonai, El Rachum Bechanun, El Rachum Bechanun, Erech Apayim, Rav Chesed ve'emet, Notzer Chesed la'alafim, Notzer Chesed la'alafim, Nose avon va'fesha v'chata'a. ונקה.
Responsively on the next page. Avinu Malkeinu, Chatanu Lefanecha.
Avinu Malkeinu, we have sinned before you.
Avinu Malkeinu, Chachzirenu Bitshuva Shlema Lefanecha.
Avinu Malkeinu, bring us back to you in full repentance.
Avinu Malkeinu, Slach Umachal Lechol Avonotenu.
Avinu Malkeinu, forgive and pardon all our misdeeds.
Avinu Malkeinu, Chamol Aleinu Ve'al Olalenu Ve'tapenu.
Avinu Malkeinu, have compassion on us and on our children.
Avinu Malkeinu, Kale Dever Ve'cherev Ve'ra'av Me'aleinu.
Avinu Malkeinu, make an end to sickness, war, and famine.
Avinu Malkeinu, Kotvenu B'Sefer Chaim Tovim.
Avinu Malkeinu, inscribe us for blessing in the book of life.
Avinu Malkeinu, Chadesh Aleinu Shana Tova.
Avinu Malkeinu, let the new year be a good year for us.
Avinu Malkeinu, Aseh Imanu Lema'an Shemecha.
Avinu Malkeinu, help us to exalt your name in the world.
Avinu Malkeinu, Kabel Barachamim Uvratzon Et Tefilatenu.
Avinu Malkeinu, in your mercy accept our prayer. Avinu Malkeinu, be gracious and answer us, for we have little merit. Treat us generously and with kindness, and be our help.
Avinu Malkeinu, Chonenu Vaneinu. Avinu Malkeinu, Chonenu Vaneinu, Ki ein banu masim. Aseh imanu, tzedakah v'chesed. Aseh imanu, tzedakah v'chesed, ve'oshienu. Avinu Malkeinu, Chonenu Vaneinu. Avinu Malkeinu, Chonenu Vaneinu, Ki ein banu masim.
Va'ani zot briti otam amar Adonai. As for me, this is my covenant with them, says the Eternal One. Let not my spirit and the words that I have put in your mouth depart from you, nor from your children or their children, from this time forth and forever.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonai, Kadosh v'norah Shemo.
השמיים ובארץ, כי כל השמיים ובארץ, לך אדוני הממלכה, והתנשא לכל מראש.
We have 3 brief Torah readings this morning, 3 sections that we'll be reading. You can find all of this on page 342 and 343, and it continues on the next page if you'd like to follow along in the Hebrew or the English. But as we move to our first Aliyah, our first Torah reading, it is a pleasure for me to invite to the Bima our first reader this morning. She was a member of our adult B'nai Mitzvah class this last year. We had a whole group of adults who spent a year and a half training, preparing, learning for a bar or bat mitzvah as an adult. And I'd like to invite to the Bima Jennifer Ostheimer, will be our first Torah reader this morning. And for the honor of the first blessing, I'd like to invite Emily and Darren Levin. They are new members to the temple. We have lots of new members in the past year, and we always like to highlight some of the people who have joined us. So Emily and Darren joining us for the blessing this morning.
Baruch Hu Adonai Hamvorach. Baruch Adonai Hamvorach Leolam Va'ed. Baruch Adonai Hamvorach Leolam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech HaOlam Asher Bachar Banu Mikol Hamim V'natan Lanu Et Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai Noten HaTorah. Amen. Atem netzavim hayom kulhem lifnei Adonai Eloheihem Rashechem Shivtechem Zikneihem V'shotreihem Kol Ish Yisrael Tapchem Neshehem V'gerha Asher Bekerev Mahaneha Mehotev Etzeha Ad Shoev Meimecha Le'ovreha Bivrit Adonai Elohecha Uvalato Asher Adonai Elohecha Koret Imha Hayom Leman Hakimota Hayom Lo Le'am Vehu Yehi Elecha Le'Elohim Ka'asher Diber Lach V'Ka'asher Nishba La'avotecha Le'Avraham Le'Yitzhak U'Yaakov V'lo itchem levadchem Anohi koret et havrit hazot ve'et ha'ala hazot ki et asher yeshno po imanu Amed Hayom Lifnei Adonai Eloheinu V'et Asher Einenu Po Imanu Hayom. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah emet v'chaye olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah. Amen.
Our second reading this morning, our Torah reader, I'd like to invite up Larry Epstein. He's one of the past presidents of the temple this morning, representing our leadership, not just here as leaders, but here to literally be part of Torah for us. And speaking of leaders, for the blessing, the second blessing of the Torah, I'd like to invite up the board of our youth group, Beth El Temple Youth. Our board members, Ari Richardson, Ryan Chekin, Tommy Sherman, and Rose Scher. If our future leaders, future and current leaders, could please come forward for the blessing. And while they're coming up, I will just tell you that first reading we heard, part of what's beautiful about it is it says that this Torah that we are reading and blessing this morning, is here for all of us. And even the words that you heard, not only for those standing there on that day, those here today, but even those who aren't here. So wherever we are as a community, whether we're standing together or somewhere else, we are one united community, and this Torah is for all of us. We'll continue with our second reading after our blessing.
Baruch Hu et Adonai Hamborach.
Baruch Adonai Hamborach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamborach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech ha'olam asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'na'ata lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten ha'torah.
Amen. Ki hamitzvah hazot asher anochi mitzavcha hayom lo nifleit hi mimcha velo richoka hi lo vashamayim hi lemor mi Ya'aleh lanu hashamayma v'yikacheha lanu v'yashmienu ota v'na'asena v'lo me'ever layam hi lemor mi ya'avor lanu el ever hayam v'yikacheha lanu V'yashmienu ota v'na'asena ki karov elecha hadavar me'od b'ficha uvilvavecha la'asoto.
Adonai, Eloheinu melech ha'olam, asher natan lanu Torah emet, v'chayei olam nata betochenu, Baruch atah Adonai, noten ha'torah.
Amen. While we have the Torah out in front of us, we take advantage of the Torah's strength to add extra strength to our prayers for healing. There's a wonderful story that comes from our Midrash. It teaches us that even at that moment at the Red Sea, when the sea came back together and we were allowed to go free, when it swallowed up all the Egyptians, God was upset. God was saddened because all of them, every one of them, is one of God's creatures. And so we as a Jewish community are taught that we don't only think of ourselves, but we certainly think of those around us. And we know that right now there is a lot of suffering going on far to our south. In a small island in the middle of a large ocean, there are millions of Americans who are currently suffering the after effects of a terrible hurricane. And this morning we would think of them and hopefully send them extra prayers for our strength to add to their strength so that they might not only heal, but they might get all that they need to provide comfort for their loved ones. As a temple community, we, in addition, of course, think of our own members this morning who are in need of extra healing. And as a temple family, we are thinking of Rory Barner, Andra Barr, Shelley Beck, Faye Claire Blau, David Colin, Matthew Cornell, Calvin Curtis, Ben Davis, Jerry Dolch, Joyce Epstein, Fern Ettinger, Eric Farber, Cy Feldman, Lois Freeman, Richard Gock, Jimmy Gell, Angel Geller, Joe Glorfield, Harvey Goodman, Ty Hall, Cynthia Hecht, Cliff Heller, Judy Hoffler, Bonnie Hoffman, David Kaner, Simon Klein, Avraham Leib, Betty LeMay, Tanja Lawrence, Stuart Levin, Suzanne Levin, Deborah Levine, David Lewis, Scott Lewis, Dina Lissack, Robert Mader, Ruth Morocco, Diane Melkus, Joe Oslewski, Ian Panter, John Redfield, John Rofell, Marcia Rofell, David Rollins, Mary K. Rudolph Davis, Joan Sadoff, Nancy Saxon, Nancy Chaplin, Linda Sherman, Estelle Davidson Show, Beth Sills, Jenna Saporin, Art Sobin, Robert Sovell, Bertha Stern, Jesse Stern, Robert Stutz, Sylvia Surwitz, Bob Tell, Barry Waldbot, Margaret Winkleman, and Catherine Reeford. Holding each of them in our hearts along with all those around the globe in need of healing, we turn together to the words which are in your booklet in the middle of page 5, the top of page 5, and please rise for Misha Berach. Be seated. For our third Torah reading this morning, it's a pleasure for me to invite to the Bima to read Torah 2 of our temple teens. They are representing not only our school, but the Madrichim program. They work with our younger students and have for several years now. I'd like to invite up Ella and Sarah Taub, who will be reading our final Torah portion this morning. And for the blessing, I would like to invite up 4 people who played a large role in Temple this past year. They have done it in many ways, but specifically they were the co-chairs of our annual event a number of months ago. I know that 1 or 2 of them are unable to be here for personal reasons, but I'll say all of them out loud. I'd like to invite up Alex Craig, Charlene Handelman, Lily Stotland, and Ann Weiner. Please come join us for our blessing this morning. As they make their way up, our reading will continue at the top of page 345, the last 2 paragraphs if you're following along. Top of page 345.
Actually, it begins the very last 3 words of 342. So Rabbi was telling you where the English is. So if you're looking at the Hebrew, it's the last 3 words of 342.
Baruch et Adonai Hambarach. Baruch Adonai Hambarach le'olam va'ed. Baruch Adonai Hambarach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim V'natan lanu et Torato, Baruch atah Adonai, noten haTorah.
Amen. Ra'e natati lefanecha chayom et hachayim v'et hatov v'et hamavet v'et hara. Asher anohi metzavha hayom le'ahava et Adonai Elohecha v'alechet biracha v'lishmor mitzvotav v'hukotav umishpata v'hayita v'ravita uvarechecha Adonai Elohecha ba'aretz asher ata v'shama larishota v'im yifne levaha v'lo tishma v'nidachta v'hishtachavita Le'Elohim acherim ve'avaratam. Higadati lachem hayom ki avod tovedun lo tarichun yamim al chadama asher ata ofer et hayardin lavo shama l'rishta hayidoti Bachem hayom et hashamayim v'et haaretz hachaim v'hamavet natati lefanecha habracha v'haklala uvacharta b'chaim lema'an tihiyeh ata v'zarecha le'ahava et Adonai Elohecha lishmoa b'kolo uldaf kavo Ki hu chayacha v'orech yamecha lashevet al hadama asher nishba Adonai la'avotecha le'Avraham litzak Yaakov latei lachem.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torat emet, v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai, noten haTorah. Amen.
I do just want to say out loud that honestly, one of my favorite things about this temple is the incredible crew of congregants that we have who read Torah for us, not just at these high holidays, but every week. It's an incredible thing that is not necessarily typical of all Reformed temples around the country. And both our cantor and Alan Lowen, where did Alan go? Back to your seat. Both have been, for so many years, part of building up this custom, tradition, and joy of this temple, and it's incredible. So I just want to out loud say that I'm cavelling a little bit when we have such incredible reading from our own members. It's a beautiful way to share this holiday. As we now prepare to lift the Torah, dress it, and return it back to the Ark, we are at the bottom of page 344. Please rise.
V'zot haTorah asher sam Moshe lifnei b'nei Yisrael al pi Adonai b'yad Moshe. Yalai la 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 la. Lie, 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 lie. Ya lie, 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 lie. Lie, 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 lie.
Continue at the top of page 357. Behold, a good doctrine has been given you. Do not forsake it. It is a tree of life to those who hold it fast, and all who cling to it find happiness. Its ways are ways of pleasantness, and all its paths are peace.
Shana Tova. Shana Tova. Thank you. It's great to see you all again. Such a busy and exciting time of year, and we're always so lucky to get to kick off our Jewish spiritual renewal at the same time that our program year at Temple is ramping up and a whole new school year is starting out. Depending how you feel or felt about school, back to school probably evokes a range of emotions here in this room. Do we have any teachers' pets in the house? That was me, surprise. People who are just maybe in it for the new outfit, for the new school supplies. Anyone regularly cutting class? I'm sure we have all kinds here. So around this time, a few years ago, a TV news reporter based in Los Angeles was doing a back-to-school piece where she went out and interviewed kids before their first day of school. And among others, she interviewed a 4-year-old pre-kindergarten student named Andrew. So here's kind of how the interview went. So she's like big and bright. She's like, "Andrew, are you excited for pre-K?" He goes, "Yes." She goes, "Why?" He goes, "I don't know." Kids, right? She goes, "Are you going to miss your mom?" He goes, "No." And she goes, no, and starts to laugh. And so he goes, ha, ha, ha. He starts to laugh too. And like 2 seconds later, in like a flash, he goes from this like, ha, 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 to like this, like he crumples, he crumbles, he bursts into tears, he covers his face, he walks off camera, this total mini meltdown in what was meant to be a lighthearted conversation, mostly staged for the purposes of cute quotient, which is, I guess, a whole sermon in itself. So this 20-second video of this crumbling is noteworthy for 2 reasons. First, it will immediately bring me to tears every single time when I see this little guy suffering. I'll think that this time I'm ready for it and can contain myself. But next time, if you happen to be around, remind me that I am not prepared. The other reason is that this interview is not only captured on film forever, but moreover, it is captured on YouTube, where it has been viewed millions of times. Think like 20 million times. Obviously, not every viewing is from a discrete, different person. But even if you guess that each person watched it twice, and me 70 times, that would make the number of people who've seen this video similar to the size of the population of the entire state of Michigan. If you Google the words, "back to school kid crying," you'll get this video, and then you'll get news reports, whatever that means, on this video, and follow-up videos based on this video. Maybe some of you in here have already seen it. I'm sure there's at least, I saw one nod back there at least. I don't know if he was nodding at me, but I'll take it. Okay, and I don't know, maybe some of you guys are watching it now, in which case, give me the phone, okay. Always works with my 7th graders, right? All right. So on some level, this video is a phenomenon an enormous number of people have discovered and then passed on to their friends and family, an incredible opportunity to watch a kid cry. But I think that little Andrew strikes such a chord because we've all been there on multiple levels. We've all been there on the content level of feeling scared of the unknown, of worrying about missing our proverbial mothers, whether that person took the form of your actual mother or not. But moreover, I think we've all been there on a process level as well. On a bad day, we've all painted an inauthentic grin on our faces. We've laughed along with everyone else and hoped we could just push through without anyone hassling us, let alone pulling up in a TV news van to ask us a bunch of annoying questions and then glimpse into our very soul. We've smiled an empty smile and laughed a hollow laugh. We've even flipped the script by developing a litany of jokes that defensively let us have the first word about our insecurities and embarrassments before someone else can stumble upon them and catch us unawares. We've all been there. The difference is that Andrew, as a very young person, is not particularly skilled at this craft. One tiny follow-up question pokes straight through, and his facade immediately collapses into a heap of crying rubble, leaving his soft, sad, vulnerable core totally visible to everyone around him, and then 20 million more. He did what we adults do every day. He just wasn't very good at it. That's the secret of the video's immense popularity. Andrew's clumsy, unsophisticated attempt at a maneuver that we all see and enact regularly in our adult world. And that's not in itself a critique. We have to develop at least a minimally protective game face in order to operate with some level of normalcy and dependability. We can't live in an Andrew-like state of near collapse. But conversely, when, if ever, are we letting our guard down and giving voice to those fears and anxieties within us? Today, right now, on this Yom Kippur, a day of stopping, a day of reflecting, a day of affliction, as the Torah calls it. In our kids' service this morning, I said, "What's Yom Kippur about?" And one kid said, "Suffering." I said, "Yeah, that is what the Torah says, that there should be some pain involved in it. This day of affliction." I want to ask you to take the risk of looking into your own vulnerable core. Take the chance of stripping away all the protective layers you've built up. By necessity, it's not wrong to have those layers, but let's peel them back. They might be getting in the way of the forgiveness, introspection, and the honesty we're trying to achieve here today. But digging deep inside is no small feat. Contemporary life is an incredibly complex endeavor. And nothing particularly bad has to be happening to you in order to make your life complicated. Good things are complications too. There's this decades-old mechanism for assessing stress in one's life called the Holmes-Rahe Stress Scale. So developed in 1967, this scale lists 43 of what Holmes and Rahe deemed to be the most common and stressful life events. Some of the events include things that you would expect: financial problems, divorce, being fired. They also include events you might not think about as stressors. Outstanding personal achievement is one of them. Doing something fantastic makes your life more complicated. A change in the number of arguments in your home, in either direction. Even if arguments in your home reduce, that still makes your life more complicated. Vacation. This time that's supposed to be easy and relaxing and fun, it makes your life more complicated as well. We're long past the days when subsisting took up most of one's time. Now we lead lives with many facets and responsibilities. Also, if you're into this kind of thing, there's a whole parallel universe of social media for posting, commenting on, and all too often, whitewashing all of the things that are going on in your real universe. We're all carrying around so much stuff, whether it's good stuff or bad stuff. Today, in this Yom Kippur moment, maybe we can take a minute to just acknowledge that. Just acknowledge, sitting in your seat, the stuff you're carrying around, the lists, the notes, the appointments, the phone calls, the pickups, the drop-offs, the hobbies, the events, the sports, the workouts. All these things you're carrying around, housekeeping. It's telling that I skipped that one. All these things you're carrying around every day. Acknowledge it. Without painting a smile over it, without laughing, without self-deprecating jokes, without any kind of jokes. Just sit here in the sanctuary with 1,400 of your best friends, with your Temple Beth El community, acknowledging your reality, sitting in it, breathing it in, and thinking about how every other person here is also juggling an unthinkable amount of items and complexity, just like you are. We often describe Yom Kippur as a solemn day. Maybe we should take a second to actually lean into that. We have all year to put up our defenses, to be impenetrable, to laugh it off like little Andrew tries so valiantly to do. And laughing can be so important. It can help us not take ourselves too seriously. It can be the best medicine, as the expression says. It can be a tremendous cathartic release in a time of pain. But if that's our only tool, if we never stop laughing, it can become a crutch for concealing, for deflecting, for denying the pain. There's this widely attributed quote in comedy that comedy equals tragedy plus time. Comedy equals tragedy plus time. Don't rush the process. Don't force yourself to laugh when you're pretty sure you need to cry. And to be clear, I say this as someone who loves watching comedy in my free time, and I even have a very successful stand-up career in my own mind. You should check it out sometime. But if we never look at, let alone treat, if we never even look at the pain inside, I think we're doing ourselves a grave, grave disservice. And it's not just ourselves we're shortchanging. If we don't listen for the pain underneath the laugh, we also let down the people closest to us in their own struggles. It might sound so obvious, but by the 4th or 12th joke a friend makes about a certain issue in their life, perhaps they're trying to signal something that they're not yet ready to say directly, or to send up a flare that they do in fact want to talk about it and are feeling you out, whether they realize it or not. It's easy to miss if you're not actively listening for it. Early on in the Torah, God's self, misses an incredible opportunity to engage with our foremother Sarah in her pain, getting lost in her laugh instead. When Sarah overhears a mysterious visitor telling Abraham that they're going to have a baby, with Abraham being 100 years old and Sarah being 90, Sarah laughs and then says to herself, "After I am grown old, shall I have pleasure, my lord Abraham being old also?" Sarah had wanted a child so badly and had taken it so badly when Abraham previously had a baby with her servant, which was her own idea, Sarah's own idea. But in this moment, with this incredible announcement, and I mean incredible in the literal sense, like one cannot believe it, she laughs. But you can easily imagine it to be an Andrew-style laugh, with it immediately giving way to Sarah covering her face and dissolving into tears at the thought of her dream finally coming true. As she says, she's imagining herself, after all this time, experiencing pleasure, reimagining what that means, even with aged Abraham, that old bag of bones. The announcement has unlocked this locus of pain inside of her. There's so much emotion there, so much promise, so much potential readiness to unburden her soul. But instead of sensing the magic about to happen on the precipice, God instead comes out swinging, not even speaking to Sarah, but instead asking Abraham why Sarah laughed, assuming she was reacting with disbelief that she could have a child at her age, which, as the reader knows, is not accurate. Furthermore, God seems to get kind of touchy, going on to question her faith, asking, "Is anything too hard for Adonai?" Ripped away from her private joy and pain, Sarah is understandably terrified at this accusatory response, and so of course denies laughing, since God has suddenly made it the defining measure of her loyalty. God ends the dialogue by essentially saying back, "Nuh-uh, you did laugh," making quick work of shutting down what could have been a transcendent release of painful feelings. God made the mistake of hearing the laugh, but totally ignoring the pain behind it. I guess, as this story shows, we all miss a cue sometimes. But just think of the opportunity for connection, for affirmation, the chance for shared growth and understanding. If God had engaged Sarah in her laughter and what she meant by it, instead of making assumptions and brusquely questioning her and Abraham accordingly. Think of Sarah's vulnerable core and how meaningful it would have been to be validated in her struggle instead of suddenly having to snap back shut and defend her very existence. Think of that cold mama daka within her, that still small voice that we just mentioned in our Unatana Tokef. This tiny sound amidst the awe and trembling of this grandiose scene. Sarah's still small voice was so close to being heard at last, but the opportunity flew right by. With this miscommunication, written thousands of years ago in mind, this story of the laugh hiding the pain, I want you to think about that still small voice within your own core that deserves to be heard, deserves to be recognized, deserves to be honored. And I want to challenge you at some point today, beyond the second that we just took in here, to stop and listen to it. Listen. It's not what we usually do. It will feel different. You might not like the way it feels. It is probably more difficult than doing what we typically do in our spare moments in between. Open up our phones, turn on the TV, go to the gym. Because starting long ago, way back at Andrew's age, we began building up ways to not have to hear our own perceived weaknesses, our own uncomfortable truths. We're not used to opening ourselves to this kind of honesty. But at some point today, besides here at Temple, look deep inside. Take the time to look behind your own laugh, to hear your own defensive jokes, and contemplate what lies beneath them. Consider what you love to laugh about, or what you pretend you love to laugh about, or have convinced yourself that you love to laugh about. And look it in the face. Look it in the face and admit your doubts and insecurities. We all have so many of them. And find another human in the midst of their own doubts and insecurities who cares enough to hold your pain and honor your still small voice within. And then, I want you to take the risk, have the courage to share just one fear with that other person, with that trusted person. Just one thing with one person where a figure no less than God missed the connection. Reach out and create a moment of shared vulnerability. Share in each other's frailty, each other's delicate humanity. There's an intimacy to it, to admitting what we take such strides to hide. That's why I always cry when I see Andrew's video. I've been let into such a private moment of expression, of internal longing, that my heart instantly recognizes as incredibly, accidentally courageous, and even transcendent. These moments of bare, raw honesty, these moments of relationship, are what helps us to rise above and find meaning in life's complications. On that same Holmes-Rahe stress scale, the researchers also noted factors that increase resilience and can help offset the 43 stressors I mentioned earlier. By far, the most impactful factor is having stable and satisfying family and personal relationships. And what is more satisfying than sharing your own vulnerable core and having another person lovingly affirm and witness your pain and your struggle? Take the chance, take a risk, look beyond the laughter to share difficulty in your life with someone you love. And at the same time that you're putting yourself out there, I want to invite you to open yourself to hearing and even reflecting back the pain you hear others concealing. After hearing a brittle, empty laugh, after noticing that 15th joke about someone's child's struggles or their troubles at work, consider asking a follow-up or just pointing out how upsetting the situation sounds. It might be too scary for them to go there, but it all starts with giving that core a chance to be seen, to be acknowledged. These moments of shared humanity, shared vulnerability, are the high points of our complicated, complex existence. Don't just let these moments happen to you. Seek them out and make them happen. It can start as soon as today. Open your ears, open your eyes, open your heart, open your core, and create a 5778 that is no laughing matter. Amen.
Before anybody goes anywhere, our service will be concluding with one more opportunity to hear our youth choir that has been rehearsing for this moment. So as we prepare for our closing song, I'd ask everyone to stay where you are and please rise.
Many nights here.
So full I can't explain.
Seeking faith and speaking words I never thought I'd say. There can be miracles
When you believe.
when you believe.
Oh, hope is frail. It's hard to kill.
It's hard to kill. Who knows what miracles
You cannot achieve.
you can achieve when you believe. Somehow you will. You will when you there can be miracles when you believe. Hope is frail.
It's hard to kill.
It's hard to kill. Who knows what miracles you can achieve when you believe. Somehow you will. Now you will. You will when you believe. You will when you
We hope you'll take advantage of Temple as a place to spend your Yom Kippur. The grounds are open. It's a beautiful day for taking a walk and enjoying outside. 12:45 in the chapel, Rabbi Brudney will lead a learning session, followed at 1:30 by an incredible opportunity to hear stories of survival, followed by a Reflections musical interlude. Afternoon services start back here in the sanctuary at 3:30, followed by Yizkor at 4:30. Good Yontif, everyone.
Great job, kids. Well done, everybody. According to